Is marriage a partnership between equals or just a tool to suppress women under the name of patriarchy? Is doing household work only the job of wives, or do husbands also need to contribute to it? Hello students, welcome to Drishti IAS. My name is Saloni Nandkyolier, and in this session we are going to talk about some bold statements that have been made by the honorable judges of the Supreme Court of India. So while listening to a divorce plea, the Supreme Court of India remarked that you are not marrying a maid, you are marrying a life partner. So this divorce plea was filed by the petitioner, who was a husband, and he said that he's filing for a divorce on the grounds of cruelty. So cruelty is one of the grounds on which divorce can be granted. And he said, the husband said, that wife is not doing household work. He's refusing to cook for him and for his in-law or for her in-laws. So this is the reason on the grounds of this cruelty, the husband was writing for a divorce, was basically filing for that divorce, and the Supreme Court said that you are not marrying a maid, you are actually marrying a life partner, and doing household work is the responsibility of both the partners, because marriage is a partnership, it is a partnership of equals. So Justice Nath said that you have to equally participate in all these cooking, cleaning, washing, everything. Today's times are different. So these were some statements that have been made by the judges of the Supreme Court of India, that the times are changing, and now doing household work is not alone the responsibility of wives, it is also the responsibility of husbands. This is a partnership of equals. So the nitty-gritty of the case is not important for our examination, it is not relevant for the examination, but what is important is understanding the role of women in Indian society. Role of women in Indian society and the type of work that they do. So when we talk about this household work, household chores, they basically constitute to unpaid labor, right? And there is a concept of feminization of unpaid labor, because most of the times when we talk about household work, it is majority the responsibility of the mothers, the wives, or basically females of the family. So there is a feminization of unpaid labor, and it also gives rise to another important concept of care economy. What is care economy? Care economy means taking care of the elders, the children, nurturing the kids, etc. So all this care economy contributes to unpaid labor, and this does not contribute to the GDP of the country. It is all unpaid, it does not contribute to the GDP of the country. In fact, this care economy activity is all a part of hidden economy, because it does not contribute to the GDP of the country. And because most of the times females are prioritizing their work in household as household labor, they are not able to participate in the formal workforce. If we talk about some data over here, so all this is very important for your mains answer writing. If we talk about some data and the trend of workforce in India, then we'll see that the female labor force participation rate in India, according to February 2026 data, is only 35.3%. In comparison to the male counterparts, this is almost half. So almost half of what the male workforce looks like. Right now, we only have 35.3 females as a part of the formal workforce, because primarily they are only engaged in household work, in domestic work, in unpaid work. They are not able to formally get associated with the workforce. And if we talk about this data over here, then the female labor force participation rate in India is one of the lowest in G20 countries, where the average is almost 50%. So India, which is one of the fastest growing economies in the world, when we talk about G20 countries, a comparison with the G20 countries, India's female labor force participation rate is one of the lowest, and this is not a good sign for India. Why? Because most of the time female are participating only in unpaid domestic work. Now there's absolutely no problem in doing household chores, and that is why the Supreme Court of India also said, however, this work should be a responsibility of both the partners and not only one person alone. Now if we analyze this further, so is there a gap in the education? Why is it not culminating into employment? So if we talk about education over here, education and particularly STEM education, so we'll see that the number of female graduates or the percentage of female graduates in STEM discipline is comparatively high. It is somewhere around 42.6%. So females are graduating from the STEM discipline, but is this culminating into employment? No. If we look at the employment data over here, STEM employment, this is only 27%. 42% graduate, but only 27% choose to work further. Because most of the times this is the marriageable age for girls, and they get married, and then again they're participating more in the household work, in the unpaid labor. So many a times they are not exactly participating in the formal workforce. Sometimes it is their choice, and most of the times it is not their choice. It is a kind of a compulsion where female have to be doing the household work alone. That is why the Supreme Court of India also observed that this should be a responsibility of both the partners. Both the partners need to contribute to it, because today times are changing. Females are also educating themselves. They also want to build a career for themselves. So coming back home and doing the responsibility or sharing such tasks should be the responsibility of both the partners, because marriage is a partnership of equals. And with this, it's also an example of judicial activism, because here the judiciary is trying to do what? It is trying to spread a social message that things are changing, times are changing, we need to change our mindset also, we need to be more accepting towards females having a career for themselves also, and we need to be more participating when it comes to doing the household work, the domestic work, the care economy work. And this is a message that the Supreme Court is trying to send to the society, so that the dynamics of the nation change, dynamics of the society change, family dynamics change, household dynamics change, which is very much the need of the hour. So that was all for this discussion. I hope you were able to understand everything that we discussed over here. Now we'll look at a practice question for prelims. But before we do that, there is this sale that is going on for you, which is the Selection Mahotsav sale. And the sale is now live. Here you're going to get up to 50% off all on our online courses, pen drive courses and test series, and a 25% off on books, DLP and magazines. So the course or the sale is live, and it is going to stay so till 26th of March. Now if you need any further information, please call us at this number 87501 87501, and you can also download the Drishti Learning app. Now let's look at a question. Consider the following statements regarding female labor force participation and unpaid work in India. 1. Unpaid household work is included in the calculation of GDP in India. 2. A higher burden of unpaid care work is one of the reasons for low female labor force participation rate. 3. The Supreme Court of India has emphasized that marriage does not imply unequal division of household labor. Choose the correct statements. A. 1 and 2 only. B. 2 and 3 only. C. 1 and 3 only, or D. 1, 2 and 3. Please attempt this question and provide your answers in the comment section. Thank you for watching.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.